Theories are like fishing nets. Depending on the fishing net you have available or you use, you will catch very different types of fish, right? So far, so easy. Likewise, depending on the theoretical perspective you adopt, you will come to worry about and indeed understand very different aspects of organizational life. My name is Torsten-Oliver Salge and I am teaching organization theory in this coming semester. And this video is really all about introducing you to the theme of organization theory and to conveying to you why it's good to have multiple fishing nets, why it's good to have multiple theoretical perspectives to understand the multifaceted phenomena that shape organizational life as we experience it. So please join me now in exploring what organization theory is all about. And please keep in mind now that organizational theory is offered in two different formats. So you can choose one, the traditional in-class format, where you come to the classroom where we'll be discussing in the classroom, or two, the online format, which is a course that is delivered entirely online through video recordings, through online discussions, through wikis that we'll be doing together, through screencasts that you will be putting together. So this video now is about the online format only. It's a good idea, I think, to watch the trailer for both the online format and the in-class format and to then think prior to registering which of these two options is better suited for you. So let's now begin our brief introduction to organization theory. Organization theory in the online format is a core module. It doesn't require any preliminary knowledge on the field of organization theories on your side. It focuses on understanding a total of 5 distinct theories. And we'll be looking at these 5 theories from 3 perspectives. First, the perspective of the theory briefing, that is a video recorded lecture with questions weaved in on the theory. 2, classic readings that we'll be discussing together online. And 3, your analysis and presentation of state-of-the-art research articles that use ideas from the core theories we'll be discussing to shed light on a core question associated with innovation. So these are the 3 components, right? A theory briefing, the online discussion of a classic reading, and 3, your analysis and presentation using a screencast of a state-of-the-art research articles on the theory. So that is what we'll be covering as part of our content. I'll tell you more about the 5 theories in a minute. As for the requirements, the course will be taught in English, so a solid command of the English language is useful. And what is also important and an important detail, you might think, is that you can only participate in this online format if you have not previously participated in the in-class format. So the 2 are mutually exclusive. You have to decide whether you want to take the online course or the in-class course. You can't take both, right? That's very important to keep in mind. And it's, I think, of an advantage, or it would be an advantage if you had a basic understanding of technology and innovation management. That's not strictly required though. I think you can do without that, without any major problems. You might be interested in understanding how your final grade will be composed and what I depict here as the most likely grading structure. So the first component, which will count for 50%, is a written term paper on the theory that applies, or on the paper that applies the respective theory, and your presentation of it. That counts for 50%, and the other 50% is the individual written exam that we do at the end of our course. So I would say that organization theory is the right course for you if you like to reflect critically about core aspects of organizations and organizational life. It's also the right course if you like the strong academic orientation that we have here in this course. If you like in particular to engage in scientific readings and to discuss the scientific readings, many of which have been seminal contributions to the respective theory. So if you like this, if you like to, or if you think also potentially about becoming a PhD candidate, pursuing doctoral research, then I think this course is of great interest to you. So the key decision you then have to make is whether you take the in-class version or the online version. And I would say the online version is the right one for you if you have multiple commitments on your time, if you're constrained with regards to your time, or put in a positive manner, if you value the opportunity to be able to contribute to and access the course material wherever and whenever you want. This course is subdivided into 6 sessions, and each session will have one dedicated theme. We'll start off in our first session by exploring further this metaphor of theories as fishing nets. That is, we want to understand why it is a good idea to have multiple theoretical perspectives in our bag, if you want, so that we are able to appreciate the multifaceted nature of organizational life as we encounter it. And to discuss the value of theoretical pluralism, we will look at the philosophy of science to guide us with regards to this very important question. We then have 5 sessions on 5 distinct theories. And importantly, many of these theories have different disciplinary backgrounds, and I'll try to illustrate that to you now. So in our second session, we look at a stream of theories that many of you will know from your previous studies. We will look at the set of theories known as New Institutional Economics. This encompasses, as many of you will know, for instance, transaction cost economics and agency theory. And it's a set of theories that originates in the field of economics and also law, and the fact that it's embedded and grounded in law is reflected not least in the metaphor of organizations as contractual systems. And we'll be reading together one of these seminal contributions in New Institutional Economics. And this will probably be one of the oldest readings that you'll have as part of your degree program. We'll be reading together Ronald Coe's 1937 article on the nature of the firm. So in our third session, we'll be moving from New Institutional Economics to the behavior theory of the firm, which draws strongly now on influences from the cognitive sciences, and which has as its guiding metaphor organizations as adaptive coalitions. That is, organizations as being composed of social groups with potentially conflicting interests. And these complex social groups, these coalitions, try to adapt over time in response not least to performance feedback this coalition receives from the environment. And we'll be looking here at the book by Syed and March, A Behavior Theory of the Firm, and we'll be discussing together their summary chapter. In our fourth session, we'll be inspired now by biology, and we explore the theory known as population ecology theory. And this is a theory that has a metaphor that is somehow in contrast to the metaphor of the behavior theory of the firm. In particular, they suggest that organizations might be not as adaptive as we think. They suggest that quite often organizations are inert. They're very difficult to change. And quite often, the speed of reorganization or the speed of reorganizing the focal firm will be slower or will be lower than the speed of change in the environment. And that is what is meant by inertia. So maybe it's just a myth that we think that organizations are adaptive. Quite often organizations are inert, that is stable and difficult to change. And this is what population ecology theory is in a nutshell all about, and we will dig deeper to explore this theme of structure inertia by looking at Hannan and Freeman's classic contribution on this theme. in our 5th session, we'll be looking at institutional theory. Institutional theory is not to be confounded with new institutional economics. It's a very different theoretical lens. It's a lens that comes from sociology. And the metaphor is a quite intriguing one. The metaphor that is guiding institutional theory is the metaphor of organizations as being captured in an iron cage. So the organization as being constrained in its activities because it is exposed to external norms and other pressures that essentially constrain the freedom of act of the focal organization. And to understand this conception of organizations in greater detail, we will look at the classic reading by DiMaggio and Powell, which is called The Iron Cage Revisited. We conclude our course with the core theory in the field of strategic management. And this theory conceives of organizations as being composed of a bundle of resources. And these resources can be tangible, such as a building. They can be intangible, such as the intellectual property we possess. Or they can be human, such as the talent that we have on our payroll. So the key idea here is that organizational performance, or more precisely the sustained competitive advantage of a company, can be traced back to superior resource endowments. And this is the theory we'll be ending our course with. So overall, we have 6 distinct sessions. The first session will take a meta perspective. And then we have 5 sessions on 5 theories. And these 5 theories have very different disciplinary origins and are hence highly complementary, I find, in terms of understanding the multiple facets of organizational life. I said a bit about the components of our online format already, so I keep it brief. So first we have a theory briefing that's video recorded. I introduce you to each of these theories and I have a few questions for you weaved in, and we'll be discussing these questions online, and I have a quiz for each of these videos for you. And each of the video briefings is structured in this way. I'll begin by telling you a bit about the general intuition of the theory. So what is it all about? What's the key idea? Then I look at the intellectual foundations. What's the broader academic debate the theory emerges from? What are the key concepts? What are the key ideas of the theory? How are the different conceptual building blocks linked to each other? That's what we understand as a proposition. And then we have further readings that you can consult if you want to learn more about the theory. So that's part 1, the theory briefing. In part 2, we look at the classic readings, and you will be looking at it at home, and you'll be sharing your results with us online by means of a wiki we jointly create. So you'll be asked a set of questions with regards to the classic reading. What's the main contribution? How is it positioned in the literature? What are the novel concepts? What are the key propositions? And what has been the impact of the paper today? And the third component now are the student presentations. That is the student analysis, which is done in a group of a particular paper, state-of-the-art research article, that applies ideas from the focal theory to make sense of an innovation-related phenomenon. And you will write a short paper of 5,000 words max with your group. You'll prepare a PowerPoint presentation and a screencast of your PowerPoint presentation. And I'll give you further instructions in the course on how to prepare your screencast for this. And your task will be to describe the paper, but more importantly, to criticize the paper and to think about ways in which the paper can be improved. Last, I would like to highlight that this online format is obviously strongly reliant on e-learning techniques. So the course will be organized and delivered entirely online. All theory briefings will be video recorded. The discussion of classic readings will take place, as I said, in a wiki. And the student presentations will be delivered in form of a paper that we'll upload and share with the entire course, and a screencast presentation and a forum that you will be managing to deal with the questions and answers with regards to your term paper. The only thing that's traditional about this course is the paper-based exam that you'll be having at the end of this course for the remaining 50% of your grades. So many thanks for watching. I hope you found organization theory interesting and you want to now participate in this course to equip you with the multiple theoretical lenses of fishing nets to make sense of the complexities of organizational life that you will encounter in your professional life. Many thanks and see you soon.